video, you will see my trip that I did in Iceland in the summer. I travelled the whole ring road and also a small detour in the Westfjords. Actually, the trip was done in 2 different years. Even if to simplify the video, I will show it as if it were a single trip. In the tabs that you will see at the top and in the playlist, you can see in-depth information on the individual areas. I travelled in the summer, and so this is what you will see in the months of June and July. To do the tour I did, I recommend at least 15 days, and almost all the places I saw can be visited with a traditional car, and you don't need a 4x4. Consider that in summer, the prices are very high, and you have to book and organise well in advance. Even in summer, the weather can be very bad. In fact, I was forced to give up some places one year and saw them the following year. Or I was forced to take detours because of bad weather. The first area we see is the Reykjanes Peninsula. The Reykjanes Peninsula is also an area of high volcanic activity. So if you are lucky, you can find erupting volcanoes or extinct volcanoes. I was there in 2022 and saw the crater of an extinct volcano. This is my footage shots with the drone. I was also in 2023, and I was lucky to see the beginning of the eruption of the volcano. If you are in Iceland during an eruption, be very careful and follow all the instructions provided by the Icelandic authorities. I also recommend you to see the capital, Reykjavik. The city centre can be visited on foot. You can see the famous church of Hallgrímskirkja. The Sun Voyager. It's a famous sculpture located on the waterfront. Created by Icelandic artist Jon Gunnar Arnason, it was unveiled in 1990 to celebrate Reykjavik's 200th anniversary. As you can imagine, the sculpture resembles a Viking ship. There are many places to eat and taste typical Icelandic products and buy souvenirs. Don't miss the Harpa Concert Hall, with its very particular shape and glass windows. Also near Reykjavik, there is a very beautiful geothermal area, Krýsuvík, with fumaroles and sulphurous mud springs. Very beautiful for the intense natural colours of red, orange and green. There are also walkways to see them better and up close, and for the decidedly unique and particular landscape. In the vicinity, there is also the small black church, Krýsuvíkurkirkja. It is not as beautiful as the church in Budir and is no longer in use, but it is still very special. There are also some very nice churches in the surrounding area, such as Strandakirkja Church. There are also two lighthouses very close to the Keflavik airport. The one on the coast, with a square shape, was built in 1987. In the innermost position is the oldest lighthouse, dating back to 1897. It has a very particular shape, different from all the other lighthouses. Let's leave the peninsula now and take the ring road to get to the southern area, which is one of the most beautiful areas of Iceland in my opinion. Starting from Reykjavik and travelling along the ring road, the first attraction not to be missed is the Seljalandsfoss waterfall. Many Icelandic waterfalls end with foss precisely because foss in Icelandic means waterfall, and the first part of the name indicates the stream that feeds it. So this waterfall is fed by the Seljalandsá River, which means liquid river. The characteristic of this waterfall is that you can pass under it. So wear suitable shoes so you don't slip, and walk around under the waterfall. This waterfall is 60 meters high, and initially the mountain you see was a cliff. Access is really easy. There is a convenient car park very close to the waterfall, and it is accessible to everyone. Very close to this waterfall, just a few steps away on foot, there is a hidden waterfall, the Glacial waterfall. It's an internal waterfall, so you can't see it from the outside. Before entering, use a complete raincoat and boots and protect your equipment, cell phone or camera from water. I also went to see a place that not many people see, but that I recommend, the Westman Islands. To get there, you need to take a ferry. From the ferry, you can see a very characteristic location that you will surely have seen as the most isolated house in the world. In fact, it is a hut located on a small island. On the island, you can also see the rock with the characteristic shape of an elephant. Back to Iceland, we arrived to the Skogafoss waterfall. One of the most famous waterfalls in Iceland. It takes its name from the Skoga River and is 60 meters high. It is very accessible and very close to a parking lot. along the ring road, another place to visit is the wreck of a DC-3 plane. In 1973, a plane crashed on this black beach. Luckily, everyone survived and was abandoned. It is a very popular destination for photographers, even if it is very difficult to reach. In fact, it takes a long path on foot or a shuttle that leaves from the parking lot. Continuing along the ring road, we arrive at the most famous black beach in Iceland, Reykjanes Beach, which is also the most dangerous because of the waves. There is a sign with a warning that is always active, so if the light is red, do not go to the beach. There is also a small cave with some very beautiful hexagonal basalt formations. From here, you can see sea stacks that are rich in Icelandic traditions. One of the most famous legends tells of two trolls who were trying to drag a three-masted ship to shore. They struggled through the night, but before they could succeed, the sun rose and turned them to stone, as trolls in Icelandic folklore cannot survive daylight. The petrified figures became the Reykjanes stacks that we see today. I also recommend you see the Black Beach from above by going to the Dyrhólaey viewpoint. Continuing, you arrive at one of the most iconic churches in Iceland, the Church of Vik. The view is very beautiful because you can see in the background the Black Beach and the Reykjanes stacks. We continue and see the Fjallajökull Canyon. It is formed by black basalt that creates amazing contrast with the green vegetation. It is famous because some scenes of the Game of Thrones were filmed here. Following the ring road, we arrive at the Svartifoss waterfall. To get there, you have to follow a path of about half an hour from the parking lot. It is a waterfall formed by black basalt columns. Its shape inspired the famous church of Hallgrímskirkja in Reykjavik. Continuing, we arrive at the Jökulsárlón Lake and the Diamond Beach. This is the largest glacial lake in Iceland, formed by the melting of the glaciers of Vatnajökull. This is the largest glacier in Europe. These small icebergs that descend from the glacier reach the sea to form the famous Diamond Beach. These small ice formations that remain on the beach and slowly melt look just like diamonds. Now we see the Mountain of Stockness, a very popular location for photographers. In addition to this, there is a Viking village. In reality, it is not a real village, but it was a set for a movie built in 2009 for a film that was never made. To access it, you need to buy an entrance ticket at the Viking Cafe and then continue by car. There is also a reconstruction of a Viking ship. Going east, we reach the Hengifoss waterfall. To reach it, you have to take a path uphill for about an hour. One of the distinguishing features of Hengifoss are the bands of red clay visible between the layers of black basalt along the canyon wall. This geological phenomenon is the result of ancient volcanic eruptions alternating with periods of inactivity, which created these coloured layers. Another place that is really worth a visit is the Studlagil Canyon. It is particular for its basalt columns that create a surreal landscape. These formations are the result of ancient volcanic eruptions and the subsequent solidification of the lava, which slowly cooled, forming unique geometric structures. Another place to visit, but only in summer, is Borgafjordur Ice Tree, where you can find lots of puffins. It is a breeding ground for puffins. You will be able to see many birds that nest in this season. You will also see chicks and birds that go to sea to catch fish for their chicks. Remember to go here only in the summer, because during the other seasons, the puffins spend all their time in the ocean. Another nice place to see is Seyðisfjarðarkirkja. This blue church is very beautiful to see, and there is also the Rainbow Road. Now we go to the northern Iceland. The first attraction we see in North Iceland is the Dettifoss waterfall. It is characterized by its extraordinary power and the volume of water that flows. We move and go to Veria, a geothermal area with a very different landscape, which seems to be from another planet. In fact, in this area, there are pools of boiling mud, fumaroles, and a ground covered with mineral deposits that create vivid and unusual colours. The area is easily accessible and is very close to the ring road. There is a strong smell of sulphur due to sulphur dioxide. The intense colour of the ground is due to minerals, sulphur iron and silica. Let's now see the Godafoss waterfall, also called the Waterfall of the Gods. It is not very high, only 12 metres, but it has a semicircular shape that makes it very particular. The waterfall is very close to the ring road and can be easily seen from both sides. The last destination I saw going west is Havitsakur. It is not close to the ring road even if the road is in good condition. There is a parking lot from where you can see this stack. The view changes a lot depending on the tide. Not far away are the Westfjords. This area is best visited in summer because of the snowy and unpaved roads. The first destination we see is the wreck of the ship Gardar BA-64. The original name of this ship was Globe 4, and it was built in Norway. It was used for many years as a fishing vessel. In 1981, the vessel was considered unsafe, and therefore it was decided to retire it, and it was abandoned in a fjord. The last place in the fjords, in my opinion the most beautiful, are the Dinjandi waterfalls. The road to get there is not easy, but it is really worth it. It's actually a very tall waterfall and other smaller waterfalls. The show is truly unique. Now we go down south and see the Snaefellsnes Peninsula. Driving along the peninsula, at a certain point, there is this very particular bridge. You only notice it if you have a drone, and it is inspired by the Game of Thrones. You then arrive at one of the most iconic points of Iceland, the mountain and waterfall of Kjördjúfell. The mountain is recognizable by its classic cone shape. Another very beautiful and photographed location is the Black Church of Budur. The black color is not only aesthetic, but is due to a layer of tar pitch to protect the wooden structure. Now let's see the Golden Circle, with the attractions not to be missed in Iceland. The first place you cannot miss is the Strokkur. Where is this famous glacier? You can see the steam emission every 5 minutes, so wait patiently around the area and you will see the jet of steam. The height of the jet can reach up to 30 meters. The waterfall you see is Gullfoss, which in Icelandic means golden waterfall. It is composed of two main falls, one of 11 meters and the highest of 21 meters. Another must-see is the Kerid crater. It is relatively recent, dating back to 3,000 years ago, and unlike many craters that form following an explosive eruption, Kerid was formed when a volcanic magma chamber emptied, causing the overlying ground to collapse. Another thing to see is the Thingvellir Park, a very beautiful park where you can also walk but also snorkel in the fissure between the two continents. This is in fact the separation between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. I also recommend you see the Brúarfoss waterfall. The waterfall is very small, the drop is just 5 meters, but it is a truly turquoise waterfall, and the color comes from the volcanic ash of the source. To get there, there is a parking lot and a path of a few minutes on the plain. Another waterfall that I recommend you see is Hæðarfoss. It is one of the highest waterfalls in Iceland, with a fall of 122 meters. The road to reach it is not short, and you cannot do it with a normal car. You need a 4x4, or you can get there with organized trips. I also recommend you see Hraunfossar, a very beautiful and suggestive waterfall where the water flows directly from an ancient lava field. There are many other attractions to see in Iceland that could never fit in this video. Otherwise, it would become even longer. You can see them in my playlist. If you like this video, put a like or follow my channel. It's free for you, but for me is very important. Thank you.